Thanks for stopping by. I'm glad you're here. Why not relax and listen to a story or two? It's our vagabond story. From our first renovation to getting legal to actually getting to travel a little bit. There are two fixtures in the bathroom, a toilet and a shower. How hard can it be to renovate? Well, I found out. Let's start with a toilet. Get the bad part done first. An RV of this advanced age might be expected to have some bad gaskets, to be a little bit leaky, and that certainly was the case for our wheelie house. I suppose being subjugated to great temperature changes, both wet and sitting dry for months at a time, all of those things make it hard for the gaskets to work well. Fortunately, you can buy a new set of gaskets, and so I did. The toilet is only held by 4 screws, so it's easy to take out. With the toilet taken out, I put some plastic and tape over the entrance into the black tank. The black tank was dry, but there was some interesting white biologic material growing in the dark. I'll deal with that later. I ordered new gaskets for the toilet, as I mentioned. Amazon is great. And cleaned the toilet out with some bleach water and, hosed it down pretty good in the backyard. And then I set it in the sunlight, let it dry out, let a lot of sunlight get into the nether regions of the toilet. Once the gaskets arrived, I had that oh so wonderful task of reaching down into the throat of the toilet and clicking in the new seal. And I was hoping it would work and I wouldn't have to do it again. Renovation is fun. I won't put the toilet black in place right away. I'll wait until the new floor gets installed first. Behind the toilet is a bunch of wires, 12-volt wires, 120-volt wires, and plumbing. It's kind of in a little chase against the wall. So I took this apart, and of course it was filled with mouse droppings. But fortunately, the wires looked good. So I just cleaned things up, and then I decided to put a cutoff valve for the fresh water that goes in to rinse the toilet after it's been used. Once again, I used this little PEX stuff that I had mentioned earlier. It worked great. I didn't have any leaks, didn't have any trouble with it. This PEX stuff is sort of amazing because even I can do it. Next to the toilet and this little chase is the tiny plastic tub. I never saw a tub so small. And the tub seems to be, in a strange way, incomplete. There's no front for it. So, what the manufacturer had done is just put in a piece of plywood in there with some little sticks to hold it together and called it all done. I tried to take that piece of plywood out badly. By the time I got it out, it was in a number of pieces. So I guess I kind of completely destroyed it. Under the tub, of course, there was tons of mouse droppings and other kinds of more or less nasty stuff. So I cleaned all of that out and kind of looked around a little bit to see what was going on. Well, where the tub drain goes into the gray tank of the RV, there's a giant hole. You know, mice could walk in there 2 by 2 without even touching each other. And of course, little other things could get up in there, things like snakes and scorpions and other unpleasant kinds of animals. So it was important to clear that up, clean it up, and then seal it up so we wouldn't get any more of those kind of things crawling in to the living part of the camper. After some internet research, I came across something called rodent wool. This stuff is like steel wool, except it's made with tiny wire razors instead of just little wires. And it's covered with some sort of very evil chemistry. And I learned the hard way that you should use the special gloves that they send with the kit. I didn't. I just used some leather gloves, you know, the welding type of gloves. That rodent wool stuff cut right in through the leather, and the evil chemistry made the whole process very uncomfortable. In the future, I'll use what I'm supposed to use, the right kind of gloves. Anyway, I cleaned out that big old hole. I got some spray glue and sprayed all around it, hoping that when I put this rodent wool in there, the spray glue would kind of keep it from disappearing. Then I just sort of tapped it in there, nice and full. There were a few other places where there were holes around, so I cleaned those up, put in some more of that spray glue, and tapped in some more rodent wool. Now, kind of leaping ahead a couple of years after I did this, the rodent wool still seems to be there, and I haven't seen any little critters crawling up inside the camper. Pretty happy about that. No visitors of the Rodentia family in particular. The tub, I suppose, is a place where you take showers. I guess if you were a little kid or had a little tiny dog, you could actually take a bath in there, but other than that, it's going to be a shower. So the bathroom is covered with this wallpaper stuff that I didn't think was really all that good. True, it is made with vinyl, but I was kind of worried. If you're taking a lot of showers in there, you might kind of mess up the wall there. So I got this really good idea. Remember that countertop paint that I used to make the lavatory counter? Well, I thought that's good stuff. I could put that in the bathroom. It will seal up all the water that gets in there. It looks nice. It'll match the countertop. It'll be great. Yep, all 7 coats of paint, many of them done with a sponge and dabbing instead of painting. I thought that would be great. And it does look okay, but it's a lot of work. I had sore arms for a couple of weeks. Nope, I won't do that again. Even though it looks nice, even though it's very nice and waterproof with that polyacrylic stuff. Nope, sore arms for a week is enough for me. I'll do something different next time. Around the tub, there was some sort of molding. The molding that was in there was actually pieces of aluminum that were sort of screwed in. I thought it looked kind of hokey. So I took all of that stuff out and, of course, cleaned up all the mess. And then I found some plastic molding at the big box store. So I cut that up, put it in place, kind of gluing it together with this stretchy type of caulk that I found at the box store again. The idea here is that the stretchy caulk won't break and crack as much as the old wheelie house goes lumbering down the road. So the idea is that it would look better longer. Yeah, so far it seems like it might kind of be doing it. A lot of caulk though. And of course the caulk, as it sets up, it'll hold that plastic in place just fine. I built a new front for the tub where I had sort of destroyed the wood and put that in place. Built a new chase there where all those wires and plumbing was kind of kept, and put that in place and buttoned that all up together. And I didn't put the toilet in, of course. So a little bit later on, when the flooring actually becomes available, I'll get busy and put the flooring in and put the toilet on, and the bathroom will be mostly done. So I took a little peek around the corner from the little partition of the bathroom and looked over at the bedroom. The demolition I had done in the bedroom, was fairly extensive, ripping out the bunk bed thing that was in there. And yeah, the place looked like a pretty heroic mess. But that's another story.